How's it going? Welcome to the Midday Show with Apollo. We are coming to you live from Instagram. I am your host, Justin Warner, and welcome my co-host, Apollo. On today's show, we have Kelly Jo joining us from the bookstore. Please welcome Kelly Jo. Kelly, would you like some candy?
No, thank you.
Well, Kelly, thank you for joining us today. We have collected some questions from students around the campus wanting to know more about your department. For those watching live, please feel free to send in any questions that you have during the live video. Let's get started. Kelly, is it possible to rent a book?
Absolutely. We have several titles available to rent.
How do you do so?
Well, the best way is to come into the bookstore, first of all, and then you'll also need to have a student ID number. You'll have to have a credit card. You'll sign an agreement, and then you get to take the book.
Awesome, awesome. Are students able to sell their books back?
Yes and no. The best way is we don't know what we're going to buy back at the end of the semester. We have a third party that comes in and does the buying for us. We let them know what books we'd like to have back if it's something that's specific to Front Range Community College. And then they will look it up and see how much the value is. They'll give you the cash if it's something they're going to buy back.
Awesome. Now, what are the stipulations for books that can't be bought back? We were talking before about you can't sell books back that have water damage.
That would be rentals.
That's for rentals.
That's for rentals. That's a
Perfect.
good question about the rentals. So when you're renting a book, you're required to keep it in good condition. We ask you not to have any water damage done to it. We ask you to not let your dog eat it or the rabbit eat it. We had a book that was eaten by a rabbit last semester. We asked you to bring it back on time. And you can highlight in it. You can use it however you need to do. But just get it back on time. And if you don't get it back, then we're going to take that credit card that you had on file. We're going to charge the difference between the replacement and the rental. And then we'll also charge you 15% if you don't get it back in time.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, what else does the bookstore offer?
We offer a lot of stuff. We have food, we have clothing, we have candy, we have art supplies, we have class supplies that you'll need for art for kits, such as your there's art kits, there's EMS kits, there are nursing kits, there's uniform shirts for the LEA. And we have a lot of sales. We got a sale going on right now.
Awesome.
So.
Apollo, you like candy, right? Yeah, I like candy. What can be purchased with financial aid?
That's a really good question because we hear that all the time. You can purchase anything in the store with your financial aid: computers, books, backpacks, clothing, food, candy, whatever you need, up to your limit. And your limit is determined by what your financial aid is. And you can only purchase it during the time financial aid is open.
So why do you need an ID to do so?
It's a federal law.
Okay.
We want to make sure whoever is accessing that financial aid gets to actually use it. So I don't want to go to jail for giving your financial aid to Apollo.
Nice. Well, how does one buy their books that they want to buy? How do they find them?
Oh, that's a really great question. So when you come into the store, the first thing we ask you is, do you have your schedule with you? And if you don't have it, we say, no problem, you can print it off in the store. Then we look at your schedule. We want to make sure that you're all registered at our bookstore, first of all, our campus. And then we find it by the course section and the course, so let's say you're in ACC, which is accounting. You're in ACC 121, 601, which means you're in accounting 121 right here on our campus. That's how we find it. So we look it up for you, find it that way.
So just come prepared with a schedule.
And if you don't have one, we'll print one for you.
Cool,
We'll
cool.
help you.
Now I have one more question from
Sure.
me. Soon we'll be asking one if there's any from the audience. But for me, do you have any fun facts about the bookstore?
Well, actually, yeah. We have a really cool thing we just found out today, that our inclusive access classes in the fall, we're going to have about 119 of those classes, and they're going to save a little over $1 million for students in student books and stuff.
That's a lot.
It's a huge
Now,
savings.
Can you talk about inclusive access? What is that?
Inclusive access is fairly new to our campuses, and what it is they've built an entire curriculum for that course. So it's not just the textbook, it's the curriculum. And they're trying to save students money by giving them an e-book or some type of a book that they don't have to purchase.
Ebook being an online book?
Online book.
Okay, awesome.
And so the whole course is created for that class.
And when did you say that's going to happen?
That, we have it going on now, but in the fall, we're gonna have about 119 classes
Perfect.
like that.
Well, that is all the questions that I have. Do we have any from the audience? No? All right. Well, Kelly Jo, thank you for coming today. That is all we have. If you haven't liked or followed us on Instagram, it is FRCC Larimer Student Life. Same with Facebook, it is FRCC Larimer Student Life. Join us Wednesdays from 3 p.m. and always have a fantastic day.
Yay!